In this video, we're going to take a look at the Control Center, which is a new feature in iOS 7, and at first glance can be very overwhelming. In order to access the Control Center, all you need to do is from the bottom of the screen flick up with your thumb or finger. When you do that, you will get this menu of options. Now, some of these can be pretty handy, so I think it's worth going through each one individually, and you can decide whether or not it's a function to you or not. In the very top left, we see Airplane Mode. Airplane mode basically restricts the device to not being able to connect to any network, whether it was Bluetooth, or Wi-Fi, cellular if it was a phone, etc. Airplane mode is something that if you want to receive absolutely no notifications or be interrupted in any way, maybe you'd want to turn that on. Beside airplane mode is the ability to toggle Wi-Fi on and off very quickly. You would want to toggle Wi-Fi on and off quickly if, for instance, you were looking to make Bluetooth connections but didn't need to have Wi-Fi on to drain the battery. Or if you were restricting the device for some reason and didn't want to receive any communication through alerts by mail or data messaging systems, etc., you could turn Wi-Fi off. Beside that, you have Bluetooth. Bluetooth toggled on and off can be of use if you're trying to pair your device with a keyboard or some other Bluetooth enabled system. If you were finding glitches with maybe your Wi-Fi or your Bluetooth, toggling those on and off very quickly might reset the networks, etc. So those could come in handy. Beside that, you have your Do Not Disturb, the moon-shaped icon. Now the Do Not Disturb feature on the iPod Touch and the iPhone is of extreme use. It's in the settings menu though, some of the things that can be changed about that, and I'll go into that in detail a little bit further on in this tutorial. And beside that, you have your auto lock button. So if you turn the orientation lock on, when you turn your iPod to the side, it won't let it orient properly. So right now I have my iPod in landscape mode, but you can see it's remaining in portrait. I'm going to go ahead and turn that back off. Underneath that, you see a quick toggle menu to reduce or increase the brightness on your device. Obviously, reducing the brightness a little bit can save quite a bit of battery, you'd be surprised. Beneath that, we have the music control menu. So if you have some music on your device, it's a quick way to access that on and off, move forward, turn the volume up and down, etc. Underneath the music controls, you see AirDrop. Now I'm going to do a separate video on AirDrop and a different way to turn things on and off, and as well as which apps to use it on. So you can check that video out after this one if you'd like. Beside AirDrop, you can see here that I'm connected wirelessly to a system that allows me to mirror my iPod screen to another system. So if you were not around an Apple TV or a MacBook Pro that allowed you to do such a thing, you wouldn't see anything beside AirDrop. AirDrop would take up that whole row. Underneath the AirDrop and AirPlay menu bar, you'll see some quick shortcuts to some pretty interesting things. So the first one is the flashlight on the bottom left, which can be very handy getting your keys out or looking behind the dryer for maybe some lost change. Beside that, you have a quick access to your clock app, which is built in. Beside that, built-in calculator shortcut, and beside that, the built-in camera function. So having quick access to these controls in the Control Center can be of use throughout the device in many different ways. Where you can access the Control Center, can be manipulated in the Settings menu. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the Settings, and you can see that right underneath Notification Center, I have the Control Center menu. So if I click that, I have two options that I can change with my Control Center. If I want to be able to flick up from the bottom on the lock screen and get at those toggled controls, then I'm going to want to make sure that access on the lock screen is turned on, which it is on mine. From any home screen on your device, you're going to be able to flick up from the bottom and get at the Control Center. But if you want to be able to access the Control Center within apps, and that's any app, with a flick up from the bottom, you're going to want to have that on as well. Now I find having access to those toggle settings very useful, so you can see here that on my devices I have both of those on. I'll give you two examples. If I pulled my iPod out of the pocket and wanted to be able to turn the Wi-Fi off very quickly, then I don't want to have to log into the device with my passcode and then go into settings and turn off Wi-Fi or go to the control center that way. As long as I have it on my lock screen, I can just press the power button, my lock screen initiates, I can flick up from the bottom, get at my control center, turn the Wi-Fi off. Second thing would be that if I was in an app, instead of having to press the home button and then flick up to get the control center, access within apps is on, so therefore I can flick up from the bottom of any app and get at the control center as well. So the control center can be of use in a number of ways, and if you have any questions, please send us an email, and hopefully you have some fun messing around with the toggle settings in the control center.